You guys, I am fangirling over here. I am so excited to have Lauren and Courtney on the podcast today. They are the dynamic duo of Moon and Stone. And if you're new or newish to crystals and a normal person, then this is the episode for you. We talk all about how they came into the crystal business, how to create relationships with your crystals, cleanse them, charge them, all the things. And the best part is how they can really transform your energy. If you are new here, you're listening to the How We Get Thru podcast, a place for you to feel connected through deep and meaningful conversations with healers from all over the world. I'm your host, Jen, a licensed therapist and founder and CEO of the How We Get Thru app. And my mission is to bring you affordable and diverse therapy resources to help you get through the hard stuff, all in one place and at your own pace. Welcome to the How We Get Thru community. Welcome back to the How We Get Thru podcast. You guys, I'm already having a good time and I just hit record. We have Courtney and Lauren from Moon and Stone, and if you've been living under a rock or a crystal, you should know who they are, unless you're living under a rock or a crystal. They've been slanging crystals all the way from New York, and I'm just so excited to have you guys. Thank you for coming.
Thank you so much for having us. It's part of our mission and why we started Moon and Stone was so that we could share the joy and the gratitude and excitement and energy that comes with this work. That's what brings us the most joy, and that's what keeps us going. So thank you for letting us share a story.
Yes. Well, that comes across in your authenticity together, in your friendship, in your realness. I feel like I'm best friends with you, but don't worry, I'm not creepy. But I'm I think what you guys exude is just so much connection to self, and so you can connect to others really easily. So thank you for your friendship and just how you came about this. So how did you get into crystals? I've done past life regressions. I just learned tarot. I'm in the spiritual realm. So you're talking to the right girly here. But what was that life event that kind of popped everything for you?
So in 2019, we were actually on vacation together with our families, and I started experiencing some really weird physical symptoms. The left side of my body was tingling. It started to go numb. I started to have dragging of my feet. Long story short, went to the doctor, went to neurologist, had MRIs done, spinal taps, whole thing. And not a ton of concrete answers, but one answer I got was, it looks like it's the start of MS. And I thought to myself, no, I don't want, no, thank you. And I thought, okay, well, and I say this very calmly, but when I'm saying, and I thought, I was actually in a mental breakdown and a spiral, and my cup had gotten full, and then this caused it to overflow. But once all of that settled down, I said, I don't accept this. So if my body can create this, then my body can take it away. So I dove into any and every single way that I could heal myself. And through that, learned how our emotions affect our mind and our physical body, how our energy affects our physical body, and that how we're all this system that all plays off of each other. So I started to experiment, and I started to experiment with meditation. I started to experiment with, learning about chakras and Ayurveda and all of that. And meanwhile, Courtney's been my best friend for 20 years. Aww. And, diving into this stuff, I was like, oh God, this is weird. But I'm meditating now. It feels awkward. I'm in my closet, with the door shut. And she's like, I'll try it too. 'Cause that's her natural, innate personality. She is a nurturer. She is a supporter. She is everyone's biggest cheerleader. I'm lucky enough that she is my personal one. And then we were at a yoga studio, and we were in line waiting to check out with our smoothies. And we both looked at each other and we were like, if somebody buys a crystal, we have gone too far.
Yep.
Okay. Too far. And we were like, yeah.
I mean, a smoothie, fine. A crystal? No, we're dope.
Too much, too far.
That's when you know.
Yep. And then, so a few months later, she's like, I bought a crystal. I'm like, oh my God, I did too.
Oh my God.
And then we started working with them, and in conjunction with everything else that we were learning, but using them and connecting with them, and then feeling how they actually worked and how they actually changed our body and changed our energy. And then in turn, we were like, okay, well, we had the support of each other while we're going through and learning all this like different new age, like woo-woo stuff. Like and we didn't really connect with a lot of like the crystal world. They weren't
Too woo.
relatable to us.
Yeah.
They were too woo.
Yep.
And so we were like, hey, like, why don't we be the support for anybody else who's looking to learn? Like, let's start a company. And that's what we did.
Wow.
Yeah.
Did you have existing jobs before and then started this, or was it just like, I'm like also an entrepreneur, so I'm like,
Yeah.
what was that like for you?
I think that it's interesting how the company came about, because I don't think either one of us felt like it was perfect timing.
Yeah.
There was a lot going on in my life. I had was just separating from my husband. Very traumatic, sudden separation where there was a lot of mistrust and a lot of pain and fear about the future, and not knowing like what I was even going to do with my 3 kids, like what I was going to do,
Yeah.
how I was going to do it. Was I going to leave this marriage? Was I going to stay in? And at the same time, being like, oh, and I have dove into this healing that Lauren and I had dove into for ourselves, and maybe this can save me. And I said to a friend as we were starting the company, I said, I got to give up. I can't do this, because my husband's moving out. My kids are home with me. I can't start a new company. No. And my friend said to me, you can't not. You won't survive without this.
Wow.
And this is meant for you now. And like the first time we took photos for our Moon and Stone website, the pictures of me in those first photos are that my husband was moving out upstairs as that was being shot.
My gosh.
In downstairs. And like there was so much I was having to manage, but at the same time, this grounded me. This energy of the crystals and this work and this friendship, like that saved me, and it brought me to a place where like my confidence grew exponentially. My trust in the universe is unbound, and my faith in this company, that I want other people to have the same support that I had. And that is with energy work, that is with crystals, and that is with friendships. You know, it's just really important to us. And at the same time, Lauren was going through a lot. I mean, Ellie had lost his job.
Yeah, when we started the business, my husband had been working in a big New York City company. He lost his job over COVID. I went back to work, and my trade is restaurants. So I went back to work serving and bartending. And I was still doing that in conjunction with Moon and Stone. And so working the 2, managing the 3 kids, my husband taking on a different job, and our income changed by 70%, like a huge chunk. But I'll never forget that day that I was like, I think I can leave the restaurant.
Yes.
And like follow my passion, and like, you know, like just do what I know I'm meant to do. Like that, like and trust. Like I just trusted. Like you gotta trust. That's I feel like the biggest thing we've learned.
It is trusting the universe, trusting each other.
Yeah. I also think there's a thread of letting go of like relationships or control to receive something, to let
100%.
something in,
Absolutely.
which is so beautiful.
You have to make space for new energy. I mean, energy never goes away. It never ends. It's always just received and exchanged. So you might be full. You have to let some go to let the good stuff come in.
Yes. And that's where that trust is. And that's like when you talk about your story, that's like the letting go of things to let this new thing in. I also just love the realness of starting a business and like working 2 jobs and not knowing what's happening. And then we're going to take some photos and my life is falling apart. Like it just is very comforting for me to see that. Because you have built such a beautiful and successful brand, and just the energy of you guys together and what comes across the screen is just like huge. It just feels so big in a beautiful way, in an inviting way. And so when you talk about Crystal, I'm like, yeah, I want that. Give me that. I want that friendship. I want that vibe. I want to work by the pool outside with a big old laptop and bring my computer out.
In your bathing suit, Jen.
In the bathing suit. Yes, exactly. Oh my gosh.
I hope, I'm so glad that you said that. I think it does come across, and it is 100% authentic. We have bad days. There is no question. Right. And I think we're pretty good at being open when we're crappy. You know, on our Instagram feed, our community knows if we're having a bad day, we're having a hard time. We're pretty open about that. But really, energy, when we're together,
it's natural.
It's better.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's very natural. Yes.
Yeah.
So yes to a podcast, yes to a TV show. I mean, I don't know. Sky's the limit, guys. Okay. And I'll just be around watching creepily. Like okay. I'm a part. I feel a part of you when I see you. And that just feels so good.
Yeah. That is our goal, is to create a community. And to be able, and you can feel energy through the screen.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So that's the goal.
Yeah.
I mean, Lauren was saying to someone the other day when you were saying that, like, we never get any bad comments. Like, we have no trolls. We have nobody who's saying anything negative on our feed. We try to be honest and authentic, but that doesn't mean we have to pass off negativity. We don't have to talk crap on people.
Yeah.
We don't have to, put out, the bad energy. We can be authentic and still, have these good vibes going. But, our community is amazing. We answer all our DMs ourselves.
Yes.
We have very good relationships with a lot of our clients that live all over the country.
Yeah. I love that. Okay. Let's dive a little bit more into the nitty-gritty of crystals. So what are some misconceptions that you have heard or seen? Because I think, I'm a therapist, but I'm also like in the spiritual realm, and I feel very similar to you, where I'm not like so up here woo. I'm like, oh my gosh, do you want me to do a tarot reading for you? Like, because it's the relatable piece, and I think when you get too high or too low, like you get too spiritual, you lose the groundingness, right? And so I think, again, what you guys do is create this beautiful balance of both, of this real life and also this spirituality, this energy that's all around us. So what would be some misconceptions of crystals that you've heard?
That they're weird.
Yeah.
Like, I'm still like, when somebody's like, what do you do? I'm like, oh, I own a crystal company.
Yeah.
Like, I'm still like, like, what's your reaction going to be? So now we're like, we own our wellness brand and we focus on energy by the use of incorporating intentional crystals. But like, that took us 2 years to figure out how to say those 2 sentences. And in the meantime, saying that is a huge misconception, is that they're weird. And I've been saying this a lot lately. I don't know why. So sorry, you're going to hear it again. But crystals are like flowers. They're a part of nature. They're a part of Mother Earth. And we bring flowers into our homes all the time. Yeah. We carry flowers on special occasions. Like, we provide flowers when we're trying to show our love and our support and share somebody's grief. Crystals are the same. They're literally the same, just in a different form.
Yeah. I think another misconception is that you don't know what to do with the crystal.
Yes.
You don't know what crystal to choose.
Yeah. Yes.
I don't know enough to pick one. And through a lot of work that Lauren and I have done with our training and with working with crystals and working with people, especially new people, which is our specialty, or newbies, is that the crystal chooses you. You don't choose the crystal. You don't have to worry about choosing the wrong one. It is all about what you're drawn to. So if you were to go like on a live sale of ours or a website or even at your local, yoga or crystal shop, and you found something that you felt was so beautiful and so perfect, and for some reason you had to have it, that's what you need. we can tell you all there is to know about which crystals provide different properties and different vibrations. They all have different meanings.
Yeah.
But none of that matters at the end of the day. When you choose a crystal, it is because that crystal knows that it needs to be in your hands, because it is there to heal you. It is there to raise your vibration. So I think a lot of people say, well, I don't know it. I don't know enough.
Yeah.
Like,
Just go.
you don't need it. You don't need to know.
Yeah. I
It's
like
need to
that
trust.
because it does become overwhelming quickly. Like,
Yeah.
oh, I need this for love. Oh, I need this for, I need everything. Then, I'll take the 10 million package of all the things in my life,
We've got something coming for that.
Oh, great.
We actually created a product for that. The 10 million things you need.
Oh my gosh. Okay. Thank you.
Yeah.
And then like, which we'll talk about, I think like wearing or buying one. But what I'm hearing you say is like, connect with yourself and then sense. And then you can maybe look it up after. Because there's also something really synchronistic about that, right? Like, oh, I know I needed this, but I maybe wasn't super conscious about needing motivation in something, right?
Absolutely. One of our favorite things to do if we have a group of friends around, or if we have done some in-person events in the past, actually quite a few of them, we don't do them anymore, but we would take a bucket of crystals, like a handpicked, crystals from our shop, and we would do an intuitional pull. So everybody would sit, take some space, take some time. Lauren and I would walk around with our little beautiful canister of crystals, and everybody would pick one. And hands down, every time we did that, people were shocked and in awe of the crystal that chose them. They couldn't believe when we told them the meaning. The tears would flow. People would say, oh, gosh, I needed this so bad. I didn't even know. Or how did it know that I needed support or I needed confidence? We had one client we did a party for, an event for, and her name is Jade. And so in the bin of crystals, we put one jade crystal.
Why?
Yep.
Just to see if she would pick it.
And it was 20 people.
And we put in typically like triple the amount just so that it feels like full, like it's a big basket of crystals.
And she picked the jade. It picked her.
My God.
And so there's just a lot of trust and faith that it will find you. And like you said, I love what you said about going back afterwards and reflecting on that.
Yeah.
Why do I need this? And it might not be relevant today, but I can guarantee you in the next week or two, it will become very relevant why that crystal chose her.
I know it's like, don't stress out about it, but are there do's and don'ts of crystal? Like for a beginner, like if you're going to use it for meditation, let's say that, like how do you do that? Like, how do you wear it? Do you put it down? And do you sage it? What are some ideas? Because I feel like you can't fuck this up, but
that's the good news, is that you can't fuck it up. That is always amazing. But yeah, just like incorporating it into your body and into your space. So when you're meditating, holding it in your hands, putting it in your palms. Like we love selenite for meditation. Like it takes your meditation to the next level. Also, we love popping crystals in our bra. Your heart chakra is your biggest energy center. It's the biggest spot in your body where you give and receive energy. So we always have crystals that are tucked right in our bra. Wearing them that way, I feel like for beginners, that's the most comfortable way. That's like where everybody feels like, oh, like I love bracelets. They're pretty, that's cute. Yeah. So that's typically our first purchases. It's the gateway drug. Yeah. That's what we call it. Crystal bracelets are the marijuana. Our live sales are heroin.
Yeah.
That's how it goes.
It's not too weird, but that'll get you in.
So yeah, I think that there's all sorts of different ways to use them, and just placing them in your home. Like I love chrysocolla is great for communication. So putting a piece of chrysocolla on your family dining room table, trying to get everybody to chat about their day. Like we have teenagers, nobody says anything other than fine.
Yeah.
Or eye rolls. So just like using, and just try and get the conversation sparked and going. Like rose quartz is perfect for self-love. So we keep that in our bathroom. Like you need that in your
Yes. Yeah.
But yeah, for a crystal newbie, it's typically the bracelet.
And we understand people like rules. You know, when you're new to
Yeah.
something,
I like rules.
Lauren
Yeah.
loves rules.
Courtney hates rules.
It's they're terrifying.
But
to me.
this
they're
is-
absolutely terrifying.
This is why it works.
Yeah.
Because
Exactly.
some people like rules, some people do not like.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. And so anything goes, but we do understand that we have
Guidelines.
guidelines.
Yes.
They're loose.
Where's
Yes.
guidelines?
We do have an FAQ section on our website, which is great for a lot of these questions, as far as like, when do I charge my crystals? Or, you know, how should I wear them? Where should I put them in my home?
Cleansing them.
Cleansing them.
Yeah.
So we
Oh, wait,
understand.
can you answer that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So your crystal absorbs energy. So it
Okay.
will absorb negative energy around you. It will absorb negative energy that's in your body. It will protect you from other people's energy. And so it absorbs it. So you have to clean it. There's many different ways to clean. You can use sage, like light a piece of sage and run it through the smoke. You can put it under salt water or just running water. You can put it in soil, like pop it in a house plant, and also in the sunlight.
What about the
Cleanses.
moon?
The
No,
moon
moon's
charges up.
charging. Okay.
Charges.
Yeah. So you definitely want to try to cleanse your stones before you charge them. But
Okay.
sometimes we do that. Sometimes we don't.
I mean, we've killed crystals before.
How?
She
they
says
just-
we.
I said we.
Yeah, it's basically me. Because it works so
They
hard.
just break?
So I've had one crystal pop off of a bracelet. I've had a piece that's been in my home that was like, and this was after my brother-in-law had passed away. And it was this
Wow.
like beautiful piece of peach stilbite. It was gorgeous.
Ugh.
And then it turned gray. Like it just worked.
Oh my God.
So hard. I struggle a lot with self-judgment, and when I wear rose quartz, it literally goes from pink to like white in probably 2 weeks.
Oh
to change them
my
out.
And then I gotta
gosh.
charge it up and I gotta cleanse it, and it works for you. Like you can tell, like once you form that relationship with your crystal, we know it sounds super weird, but you can tell, you're like, oh God, you've been working really hard. Like they
Wow.
look dull.
Yeah.
And then you charge them, in your selenite or under the full moon, and they are all bright and peppy again. Like it's crazy.
Yeah.
That's wild.
Charging under the full moon is also a fun experience. I think for anybody who's dipping their toe into crystals and wants to go
charge a crystal.
No, I mean wants to go a little further. Just let me finish. Wants to dive in.
Yeah.
Okay, the charging of the crystals can be very rewarding. It's like, and I actually think it's something newbies do.
Yes.
I feel like we get a lot of people saying, "Oh, I put my crystals in the windowsill."
Yeah, I
Yeah.
can see that. Yeah,
Right? I mean, I'm not asking them to dance naked under the moon.
I was envisioning like a grid building session in your front yard.
No, that's for you and I.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's reserved for us.
That's a different level.
But yeah, no, I think putting them in the windowsill is fun for kids. It's fun. It is a sense of like, I'm doing something. I'm doing something to heighten and brighten and raise the vibration of my home, of my people, and of myself. And so that's a good feeling. That's a small thing you can do. And the awe of the full moon never goes away.
Yeah.
It's like the most amazing thing ever.
Exactly.
And nobody says like, oh, it's just a full moon. Everybody, even people who, don't really care about crystals are like, wow, look at the full moon.
Yeah.
That awe is important. It's important for your energy.
Yeah. So, and I'm hearing what's important is the relationship with the crystal. And I think part of this is like intention and belief. And so can you kind of like walk through, because some people could be like, oh, I put this on my bra, it didn't work. Right? Then what's the like intention? What's the great posture to be in building a relationship with the crystal?
You have to be, you have to be honest with it, and you have to tell it what you want. Like it's energy. So it wants to work with your energy. So that's how you connect with it. You're holding this crystal. I mean, I went for a job interview after my husband lost his job, and I had a piece of citrine, and this was when we were still new to crystals. And I was like, okay, it's like citrines for success. Like, okay, like I got this. So I held it and I was like, please, like help me with this interview. Like I haven't interviewed in like 5 years. Like, I need this to go well. Like, anything you can do to help me with this interview. And I held it, and then I popped it in my bra. And I was in the interview, and it was like I almost had like an out of body like type experience. Like, I was talking, but then I was thinking like, oh my God, you're fucking nailing this. And like words were just like coming out, and it was like I wasn't even speaking. Like, it just was like, it was crazy. And then after the interview, the two guys were like, wow, that was the best interview ever. But you have to be clear with it. It's just like with like the universe. It's the law of positive attraction. And like, you have to set, like, what is your intention? Like, what is your goal? And it can be, I need more money right now.
Yeah.
Like, help me. I need more. Or it can be like, I need peace. Like, it can be whatever it is. But you got to be honest with it.
Yeah.
And, you know, the results don't always come the way you think they're going to come, right? So I think that that's also just something in learning about manifesting, is that what you're manifesting is an end result of a feeling. It's the end result of an experience or move and growth. That always, there isn't a point A to point B in that. You know, no, the universe, nobody knows how you're going to get there.
Yeah.
And there are stops along the way. So I think that it's also being open and trusting that your path is set for you for a reason. And there will be pain and suffering. The crystals aren't going to take that away.
Yeah.
You know, the universe, humans are meant to experience that. So we're not saying that you use these, that will go away. But what we are saying is if you use them and you trust them, you can manifest so much more out of this life because you're present and you're available to see what's right in front of you.
Yes, I love that. I have a good friend that is intuitive, and she also says, you know, like, you ask the universe for more self-love, it's not just going to drop it on your doorstep. It's going to give you something to work through. It's going to make you find it. It's going to make you work for that, because that is the ultimate goal. That's how you get it, right? And so I think that's a really good point, is that, you know, crystals aren't going to take away the work. It's almost brings you a little bit more intentional into the work.
And hopeful.
Yeah.
You know, I think there's something about holding on to a crystal. I mean, don't you remember when you were little, you had those worry dolls that your parents would give you so you didn't wake them up all night with nightmares? And so it's almost like that. It's, you know, although it is energy and it works for you, but it is something that you can tangibly hold. And we always tell people, you know, if you don't believe any of the crap that we're putting out there.
Right.
You're not down with it, fine. But isn't there something to be said for holding something tangible, a hope in your hand? You know?
I have confidence in my hand. That's how I felt when I was holding the citrine.
Yeah.
I have confidence that I was going to be successful. And that innately, like, that energy that's sparked inside of you, that will propel you to be successful.
Yeah. It's like a conduit.
Yeah.
Of like higher self energy.
Yep.
Okay. Yeah. Sorry. I'm just like, what?
Yeah, it is. It's a conduit. I mean, crystals are definitely another way to get you there. They're another way to heighten your experience of mindfulness, of universal growth, and an awakening that a lot of people in the spiritual world right now are saying, like, we're in the midst of a universal awakening. Yeah. And it's not just with us. It's not just with crystals. It's with mindfulness. It's with nature. It's trees. It's agriculture. It's this. There's a major shift happening right now. And we all see it and feel it. And I think Lauren and I we feel so lucky to be a part of it. And I truly believe there's a reason we are here at this point in time. And it's to, you know, share the part that we know about this awakening.
Yeah. And again, I think with crystals, and I'm thinking my experience with tarot, it's so 3D. It's so physical. It's so material that our humanness, sometimes I call it the meat suit, our humanness can connect to that to then connect up to higher self or spiritual or energy. It's, again, the gateway or the conduit to something. But I think we get really caught into this 3D life. We get caught into materials like, okay, well, I need money. So what does that mean? But like, what is what is the purpose of that for you? Where are you really struggling with that? Where are your blocks with that? Like, it's always a higher self question. But again, I think it really can capture people quickly because it's so tangible.
Yes. Exactly. I mean, that's how it got us.
Yeah.
You know, we were already up to our ears in different meditations and past life work and all of that.
We were looking for some pretty.
We were looking for some fun.
Yes, you found
Something
it.
sparkly.
Something sparkly. Yeah. And then the first crystal, first real, I think, you know, draw for crystals for us was with another crystal healer that we both saw. Lauren went first because Lauren always goes first.
Yes.
That is the rule.
She's like, let me try that.
You try everything. I will let you know how much I want to do with that thing.
Yeah.
Ayahuasca.
Courtney shall try first.
I tried. I dove in first. But,
Wow.
I mean, we did it together, but
Uh-huh.
it definitely was.
Did you do it in the jungle or did you do it?
Sure
Here.
did.
Yeah, we did.
We did.
Great.
Is there enough time in the whole world?
There is
I know.
not.
I know.
That's another podcast.
We will come back
Yes. I believe
for
it. Yes.
our ayahuasca podcast.
Can't wait.
But, you know, I think that overall, you know, Lauren and I tried this crystal healing experience with somebody and she made jewelry out of them. And it was very different from what we do. But just like, I left my session with her with like this Kundalini energy. Like, I felt like somebody had given me uppers or drugs or something. I still, like, it's kind of one of those things where you still want that feeling back. I'm
Yes,
like,
you
that
chase it.
was the electricity that shot through my body. And in wearing this stone and picking it out and holding it and realizing why this was meant for me, it was magical. Absolute magic for me.
I love that.
And, you know, so I think that's how it happens with people. You have that moment of magic. And, you know, we get messages every day from people saying that they open their box and they can't believe how much they love their necklace and that they went somewhere and the necklace helped them through this process and they had no idea it was going to be so helpful. I mean, it's wonderful to get feedback from people on that.
How do you pick your crystals? Where do you get your crystals from? What is that process?
So we handpick every single piece that we sell, and we do it at the two major gem shows. There's one in January in Tucson, Arizona, and then there's one in September in Denver, Colorado. So it's actually, they're spaced out perfectly, but we go and we spend 3 or 4 days and we buy like 1,500 pounds of crystals that we legit sift through, handpick. We have a few families that mine. You know, we actually have videos of the pieces that we purchase. We have videos of them mining them.
Wow.
And families that we trust, and everything is, you know, ethically sourced and mined. So that is really important to us. So everything we sell, we feel this vibration. We know that it is like the best quality. And we reflect that in... I was going to say we don't reflect it in our price because our pricing is to get crystals in people's hands.
Yeah.
Like, it is not, the margin is that so we can run our business. Like, that's our mission, is to get crystals in people's hands. And that's what we strive to do.
Because there are some people that really mark it up and say this is such a fancy one, blah, 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 blah.
I mean, we've seen it. Like, we'll screenshot and we'll be like, oh my God, this is fake citrine and they're charging $998 for it.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
We're like, we have the same thing it's $72.
Yeah. How do you know if a crystal is fake or real?
All the different varieties have different like characteristics, different properties.
Okay.
So you can tell amethyst, if you heat amethyst, it actually turns a burnt yellow. And so people will pass that off as citrine. So, and citrine is actually really hard to find right now.
And citrine actually is amethyst. It is amethyst that's been heated by the earth. But when it's heated by the earth, it's a very light yellow. It's a very, very pretty light yellow. When it's heated,
I envision somebody with a lighter just
same.
Yeah.
Like in the meth lab.
Right now. Yeah. A welder's cap on.
Yeah.
So it turns that orange color. There's also, there's a lot of crystals that we see that just are too awkward in color, bright, too bright. And we do steer away from them for the most part. There are some fun ones that we have decided we would carry because we do believe that they have some good intention behind them. For instance, or angel aura.
Yeah, but that is treated with other crystals.
Correct.
Yeah.
But that's what I mean.
Yes,
It's treated, but it looks
it's
different.
So fun.
So angel aura is clear quartz treated with, this, I don't know.
I don't remember you putting me on the spot.
I don't know anything, so I'm just like,
silver,
treated.
So it's slightly treated, but it is very pretty, and it does hold a lot of good meaning. But for the most part, we're pretty picky, and we can spot it right away. I mean, when you're at a crystal like gem show, it is massive, and I mean, it takes over the whole city of Tucson. So it's not one building you're going to; it's like 4 or 5 different spots.
Wow.
Hotels have little booths outside them, parking lots. A big, is it like a sports center has a big parking lot that they do like build a city in, basically. But you can pretty much, we can spot when something doesn't look right.
And it doesn't feel right.
Right.
So the
we
energy
go a
of
lot
it.
of based on like our own intuition and like, does it feel right? Like how does it feel when we hold it? Like when we look at it, like you can tell like, oh, you're really happy. This is
you're coming home.
You want to come with us.
Yeah.
We got you. Come on.
Do you have to like drive out there with like a U-Haul, or do you just ship it back? How do you
We ship it back.
get all that loot back?
They have stop spots all around.
They have it
cool.
set up for people to do that.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
they try to make it as easy as they can, but there is a lot of lugging.
You build a pallet and then
We have a wagon.
Cool.
Lauren likes lifting things.
I do.
I do not.
Yeah.
So there is, I like picking things out. I tend to get lost in the aisles, and I'm like, oh, I want one of this. Lauren's like, one? Why one?
One.
I'm like, I just love this one. She's like, well, I can't sell that on the website. Can you pick out 6 more? I was like,
Let us pay money to get it photographed to then sell one and then have it be done.
Yes.
But that being said,
That's why we do our live sales, because we do pick a ton of crystals that are one of a kind, and they're not, it's one of a kind. Mother Earth just made one. So we sell all of those on our Instagram live sales, which we just started doing probably about 4 or 5 months ago, and they've been a huge hit. I mean, we will sell 75 to 100% of everything that we show.
That.
So
Yeah.
that's where all the one.
and we try to make it, there's a lot of crystal live shows. I don't know if you've ever seen any. They were new to me, but they'll pop up, and crystal live shows or your gem live shows are basically like 4 or 5 hours long.
Wow.
You just have a picture, somebody has their phone on a light or a blue light, and they're showing one crystal at a time. This is number 8427. And this is,
like an
whatever.
auction.
This is citrine.
Yeah.
And then they put it down. Then they pick up another one. And I'm like, how are people watching this for this long?
With us, you get shenanigans.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
So we decided to flip the mold.
Yeah.
We're like, we're not doing that. We're not doing that.
Absolutely. I love that. But I love that you're honoring the uniqueness of a crystal and you're not cheapening it. Like there's some, yes, we can get 6 or 10, but this is the impact. And this is what, again, I think what your intention is that you bring to other people. Like this is natural. This is this one special crystal. And that feels good. And that feels special to, I think, the person that wants that.
Yes.
Yeah. I mean, we work with a shaman as well, and we've done a live event with her, Andy, and she told us midway through we were starting the company, or once after we had started, but we were still trying to get our feet into like, what are we doing? How are we going to do this? And she said, you are meant to get crystals, bring them home, and they have a place that they have a destination already set. And she said, you can't fail. This can't fail, because that is your place in this world, is to bring crystals back with you and send them back out. And each crystal has a destination that's predetermined. So we always say, like, if there's a crystal that's calling out to you on one of our live sales, immediately let us know, because that is meant for you.
Yeah.
And it is meant to get to that place in the world where you are. And I think Lauren always says, she's like, how is it that not the same people want the same crystal a lot of times?
It's so weird. So
cool.
It's first come, first serve. And like, so the first person to DM gets that crystal, and very rarely do multiple people ask for the same crystal. Like very rare. Yeah.
I
Yeah.
got chills.
Yeah.
Oh, that's
So
so
it's a
beautiful.
really cool experience to find these crystals and then see them leave.
Yes.
No, I'm like, send a picture.
Yeah.
Please. Somebody did
Yes.
recently. They sent us a picture. They were like, "She's home. My baby's here." I'm like,
my God.
thank you for letting us know.
That's so good. How have your rituals with crystals changed over time? What is something that you do now with each other or with yourselves that feels a little bit more, I don't know, advanced, or just feels like, when you start something, it just starts kind of broadening out?
You want to go first? You want me to?
I would say that, doing the crystal healings on yourselves, like putting the crystals on each of your chakras and really, sinking into a meditation and clearing out the energy and then charging the energy and having it connect through all of the crystals. Like that's something that
Placing them on your body, I think, was something that we dove into once we started the crystal healing course, which Lauren and I both are certified in crystal healing, and it was very focused on which crystals would help open different energy portals in your body. So that was one. I was thinking the other one would be grid building. I think that has become something that's been really important to us. We do it, just the two of us here at HQ, for fun. We do it on full moons or new moons out in the lawn.
We're manifesting a lot right now.
Yes.
So.
Yes, you are.
Yes.
Yes, you are.
So building a crystal grid is basically taking kind of whatever crystals you have at home, I would say. There are some specific crystals meant for different things, as we talk about, but really you can use what you have. You can also use water. You can use, a bowl of water. You can use some flowers. You can use greens or leaves from outside.
Fire.
Fire.
Candle.
Yep. Don't light anything on fire. I was like, what? No, I'm not doing that. We used to make, sometimes we'll make a brew, which is just like some fresh herbs and some fruit. But you can set that up and you almost do it like you would do a mandala, where you're setting different crystals in a pattern that will magnify the energy of all of the crystals and your own energy, and meditating in front of them. So that's in a quote unquote advanced crystal technique. But really, anybody can do it. It's fun to get to do it with friends. Like, gather a couple of your girlfriends around for a full moon ritual. I know I sound weird again.
No, right? I'm always like getting my girlfriend. I was like, okay, when we're gonna draw like blood of circles of blood in the floor and light the candles and holding hands, and I'm all about it.
A little practical magic action, right? Let's put a straw in the coconut and dance around.
Yes, Practical Magic 2 is coming out apparently, right?
So excited. I'm beyond
That's
excited.
not a lie, right?
We're talking about
What, the movie?
no.
Sandra Bullock
And shake it all around.
Yeah.
What?
The beginning, isn't that the beginning? They're all just.
We got some lessons. Sorry, everybody.
Okay, but I had a thought, because what I think that I'm envious of with you guys is your relationship that you have access to a lot of times, and you're in the same things, and I'm like, man, I want someone to like build a grid with, and I have some people, but I'm saying that are you going to be doing retreats of some sort? Are you, okay, because I'm just like, the community that you build, I want to be around it, I want to come, I want to experience it with you.
I hear that. We get that a lot. We have felt that more recently that doing our live events, I don't know if I don't think you've done any of our live events, but we not on Instagram, but we also do events that are live. And so we have about 40, 50 participants. We send out a box ahead of time with all the crystals you'll need. We go through a meditation, and it's online. So it's on a big Zoom call. And we spend like 1.5 to 2 hours?
90 minutes, Courtney.
90 minutes. We
Feels
spend
like
90
2
minutes.
hours.
So if it were up to me, it would be longer, but Lauren has to cut me off. And we talk, we have like, maybe we have a shaman on, or maybe we go through the different chakras, and we communicate, and we're there, and we're live and in person, and we're doing that so that we can have a greater span of community, because we do live in Rochester, and we each have 3 kids.
Yeah.
And so doing retreats was a little taxing on us over the past couple of years, and we decided to branch out and do them remotely, and I love it. We get great feedback from our, online virtual, retreats, I suppose you could call them. And
How
they're really
often?
wonderful.
How often do you do those, and where can I find
Every
that?
other month?
Yeah, we do it about once every 8 weeks. So yeah,
Okay.
once every other month. We've got to get our next one scheduled. We've been very good at scheduling them out, but summer it gets crazy.
Yes.
It
Yes,
does.
exactly.
Yeah,
It
Everyone
does.
feels
But
that.
you can find them on our website under is it under gatherings or Moon and Cosmic Happenings. So
Okay.
on our website you'll see Crystal Shop, and then you'll see Cosmic Happenings, and we will always list what's coming up next
Okay.
in that section. But I love being a part of it. We love being a part of this community.
Yeah.
I mean, absolutely love the feedback. Every day we're excited to chat with people over DMs. We're excited to share our silliness, our hand vacuuming, our arguments,
Yeah. It's so
all
fun.
of the, wacky things that we do through the day, because we are just kind of two regular girls who found this way to magnify the joy in our life.
Yeah.
And cut out the bullshit.
And cut all the bullshit.
The
Do you
bullshit.
guys know if you've had past lives together?
I don't think we have. We
Okay.
have both done a lot. I think that we have been told, and I get that we were part of the talk about weird, that we were part of the fairy realm.
Mhm.
I was also a fairy.
Yeah.
No way.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
And that we were sisters in the fairy realm.
Yeah.
Oh my God. That's
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
beautiful.
Yeah.
So that was a special thing. That was at the beginning of this process when we
Yeah.
when we first started using crystals. We went to that first crystal healer who we're still friends with. She moved, but and that we were together for a little bit of time. But I definitely think there's a reason. There's a huge reason why we're back here at this time.
Yeah.
And I think that, same with you and same with the other people you run into and you connect with, and you're like, wow, this is weird. I feel like there's a connection here that I can't explain. And there is, that his energy doesn't ever go away. It's just transformed and transmuted between things and ground and back up again. And so we're pretty lucky we're back to being fairies, as it turns out.
Yes. Full circle moment.
Full circle. Modern day fairies.
My kids would not agree with that.
Yeah. It's okay.
That's
They're teens. They're not supposed to agree with anything. I did catch one of your lives, or was this? It was a live, and your daughter came on. You're like, girl, you need to be at school.
Go to school. My God.
It's so funny.
It happens almost every time.
A queen comes on, or one of their friends. I'm like, what are you guys doing?
They're
Stop.
interested in crystals, guys.
No, they're interested in making fun of us.
Those are moms again. Okay.
Yeah.
Have you introduced your kids to crystals? What does that look like? And then I want to do a fire round of what's a good crystal for this, and this.
Cool. Great. Our boys love crystals. So we each have a boy that's our youngest. So mine is 10, Courtney's is almost 10, mine's almost 11. But they are super into crystals. So proud. Love to use them, love to hold them, love to show their friends, love to gift them to her friends. Courtney's kid comes into HQ and I'm like, God, what did he steal now? Swipes everything.
Yeah. Yeah. The moment he has a new friend over, he's like, hey, do you want to go up to my mom's shop?
Yeah.
Get a
Like,
crystal.
no. Yes. He's like,
Yeah.
can they have this? Can I have that? And I was like, okay, fine. And so the younger ones are easy, it's easy to get in at the younger age.
Mhm.
But I have found that both of my older kids have used crystals and asked me for them independently. And they might not want to share too much about that with me. But my daughter was going in she plays ice hockey, and she was going in for a tryout. And she was, I'm fine. I get to drop her off. She's like, I'm terrified. I said, yeah, I know. I can imagine. And she looks at my wrist and she goes, what can you give me? And I said, it's okay. I said, you're going to be just fine. And I gave her a pyrite and I handed it to her and I put it right on her wrist. And I was like, this is to give you confidence and you'll feel better. And she wore it for 2 days straight. She nailed the tryout. She made one of the teams. She was really proud of it. And my son, one day, he walked out of the house. I was like, where are you going? He's like, I can't find my bracelet, so I'm going to go up to HQ and get another one if that's okay. He's 15, turning 16.
I
I
love
didn't even want to
that.
ask him. I was
Yeah,
like,
yeah,
sure,
yeah.
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Do you ever like if they're moody, like you just sneak a crystal underneath their bed or their
Oh,
pillow?
I have. I
Just
my
like-
middle is she's a piece of work. She's a piece of work.
I was like,
And I stick a rose quartz right underneath her bed. She doesn't even know it's there. It's right underneath there. I mean, when she goes to school, I go in, I sage her room. I'm like, God, this is like this could blow up crystals. You could end all crystals.
she's got a lot of energy. She's got big energy.
Oh, she's got so much energy. Like I was telling my husband, like this girl is she's gonna do
something
big.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, I know that feeling, man. Okay, so let's do just a quick what crystal is good for what? So what
Okay, you want to
crystal
just switch back and forth?
Sure.
You go first.
Wonderful.
what crystal is good for money?
Money, that would be pyrite or
Okay.
citrine.
Okay. And do you place it somewhere in your house?
There's you could do this whole grid thing, but typically the leftist most corner of your house. Mm-hmm.
Okay. What about for love in relationships or self-love? Is it the same?
Rose quartz are great for both. Rose quartz is great, best for self-love. I like to pop it right in my bra, close to my heart chakra, keep it in your bathroom. I also like to keep it in my kitchen because I think that just supports general love feelings when everybody's kind of in and out and a little bit of tension in the kitchen sometimes. And then morganite is actually a fantastic stone for relationships. We sell a morganite bracelet that's really pretty and it's great.
Story to tell.
You got a story to tell.
Yes, do it. I had a friend come in. She's like, oh my God, I'm going on a date for the first time in 2 years. And I was like, come on. So she came and she got a morganite. She met the man of her dreams that night.
Oh my gosh.
I know,
That's
it's
amazing.
Yeah. So morganite, keep on you. Rose quartz can keep in the house or in your bra.
Okay. What about stress and anxiety?
Anxiety, we love lepidolite.
Okay.
It's a beautiful, lilac-y purple stone. It's gorgeous. We have it in bracelet form, but also in raw form that we recommend people put on their third eye to help with anxiety. In stress relief, we love serpentine. We have the most gorgeous serpentine palm stones. It's like a green with darker green veins in it. And just to hold that stone is such an amazing way to relieve and release stress.
I love that. Okay, what about, I think we did confidence, but if you're having about to do a big presentation or something like that, is there?
Citrine is great for confidence building. I also like carnelian, even though it is a courage stone. So citrine is for abundance and for kind of going after it. And carnelian is for the courage to do that. So maybe a combination of both is really great. Again, in your pockets, jam it right in your sock. I mean, I think that really the most important thing is to keep it on you and with you so that even if it's in your pocket, it's nice because you can take it out and rub it. Carnelian is a bright orange stone. Very good for creativity if you're in that sort of field and you're looking for a little boost in your energetic creative side.
We call it boss rose.
Ooh, yes. Okay, last one. What's a good crystal to connect to higher self or third eye?
So higher self is definitely apophyllite. So we sell,
Okay.
we have now deemed ourselves as the official apophyllite crystal dealers of United States of America. I know,
LLC.
but it's definitely what we specialize in. We're obsessed with apophyllite, and apophyllite connects you to the higher realm, to the universe. It's great for your higher crown chakra. And we're obsessed with it. It's such a beautiful, sparkly stone. It comes in white, it comes in peach, it comes in grays,
greens.
It comes in all these different colors. But apophyllite is amazing for connecting with the higher realms.
And if you're gonna
in your intuition,
wear something and you're trying to connect, then because apophyllite doesn't come in wearable form,
unless we make it into a giant,
it's huge
necklace. Yeah, apophyllite's they're pretty
chunky. Yeah, it's big.
Okay.
You can buy an apophyllite ring, but it's generally in a raw form. Apophyllite, but we love crystal quartz in order to wear it, to magnify the power. It brings you closer to, you know, the higher realms, but also magnifies everything around you. We've got beautiful crystal quartz bracelets and necklaces that just
Wonderful.
magnify that energy to bring it upward.
I love that. Okay, I have one more question. Are there certain crystals you shouldn't put together?
Put together. No.
No, I
Okay.
don't.
Like
I
that's
mean,
drama.
I think that the only
Yeah.
rule we have,
I mean, I would say this is somewhere where I'm not a huge rule follower either.
Right.
Yeah.
Like, because, okay, so carnelian is for your sacral chakra, right? Like,
Uh-huh.
technically. But if you feel like it needs to be in your heart, then that's where it needs to be. Or if you feel, you know what I mean? Like, we're all different.
Yeah.
Just so, like, that's like one, typically I'm a huge rule follower.
Yeah.
Like rules of like, what should go together? What shouldn't? Like, somebody says you shouldn't wear more than 3. I mean,
Yeah.
I don't believe that. Like,
Yeah.
if you feel like you should have a couple on your bra, a couple on your wrist, like maybe you have a bracelet around your hair tie, go for it. Like,
yeah.
yeah. The only rule I've ever heard that we sometimes regurgitate is that hematite shouldn't go close to your heart chakra.
Okay.
It's a grounding stone. It's pretty magnetic and powerful. Should be kept on your lower chakras.
Got it. Okay. Okay.
we should test it out.
I know.
You want to jam it in your bra?
I will.
Yeah. Be that. Yes. We need you.
Wow. Yep. We'll take one for this tea.
Yes. You guys, thank you so much for coming on. I really just enjoyed our time together. And I feel like I know you just because from your presence and who you are together. And so thank you so much for all that you're doing. Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you for
inviting
having us and letting us, you know, tell our story. And, you know, I think that it's important that people like us and you get together and share this moment in time with others, and just really grateful. So thank you so much.
You're welcome. We're doing it.
Yeah, we're doing it. We're doing the hard work.
Yes. All right. Thanks,
Fun.
guys.
All right. Thanks, Jen. Bye-bye.
Thank you guys so much for tuning in. Please go check out all the crystals at moonandstone.com and make sure you follow them on their Instagram so you get notified of their live sales. If you are loving what you're hearing, please give us a review up on Apple Podcasts so that we can continue to reach and help others. We'll see you next time.